I'm going to continue now with the corridor scene and work on unwrapping and texturing the cart. And I've already got the computers unwrapped, so we'll just texture that. That's just to save some time, so we're not unwrapping all day long and trying things and seeing if they work out or not. So after we're done that, I will show you how that stuff looks in the scene. We'll just talk about the last few things we need to do. So let's do this. I have taken off the subdivision on here, but I'm leaving the mirror on. I'm going to Shift H to focus just on those guys. And I think the way I'm going to unwrap this, because they are mirrored, which makes it easier, is I'll select that mark seam. I can put on the screensavers or the screencast keys in case that's helpful. And I think I will just do this mark seam. Let's see what that looks like actually. And let's get rid of whatever the heck that is. And that's okay actually. I'm going to scale that down. Alt H, let's bring stuff back and just continue working on. We've got them all. I'll just put them in collections in another folder. Let's just hide that stuff. Okay, let's move on. Let's do this. Now, I've got a bevel on here, but I'm not going to apply it. I'm going to just leave it like that. Should be okay for this. Very, very simple. So I'm going to select those edges here on the sides. And Control E, mark seam. And I'm going to select here. I'll just do it in face selection. The top and the bottom, Control E, mark seam. So that's all done. We could have a look at that if we wanted to. Okay, that's what that looks like. And let's do these guys, and let's go pretty much everything, eh? Let's go Shift H. And let's do, I think I can, if I mark all seams, but I maybe get rid of those. Maybe that's a faster way of doing it. Oops, clear seam. Yeah, I think that's probably okay. Yeah, I think that was a faster way of doing what I want to do. Let's just check those. Yeah, just nice straight, that's fine. Alt H. So that's that. Okay, let's look at these things. Again, they're mirrored, so that makes it easier. I'm going to put a seam in the middle of these three. Let's focus on that. Let's turn off the that so we can just look at one. All right, I'm going to put a seam there, and then I'm going to come to the middle one. Maybe we'll do the middle one. No, I kind of want both surfaces. Oh, you could do it a number of different ways. No, yeah, let's do the middle one there and the middle one here, and then it should go, I think, all the way around. And let's just, here, well, we'll do this one too. I'm just going to drop an edge back there somewhere, or a seam anyhow. Select there and select there. Control E, mark seam. Let's check all of that out. That's going to be fine for the kind of metal texture I'm putting on. So I got the wheel, I got that, I got that, I got that. So the last thing of the cart is going to be up here, this thing here. So let's just come in and choose something maybe along the back. An edge there, and maybe an edge there. Mark seam. This is closed off, so we'll come up here, select that and that. Mark seam there. And that leaves us with down here. Okay, we'll come to the back of this and Shift Alt and click there and there. Mark seam there. Let's do that on the other side. Maybe it'd be easier if it was mirrored too, but it's no big deal. Mark seam, and then for this thing I'm going to do the top surface, and I'm going to do the edges, the middle of the three that I usually do. I used to do 5, as you know, in which case I'd still take the middle one. It's just the way I like to do it. Not everybody does it this way, but one and this one. Okay, that one. Holding Shift and Alt as I click these, and that one. Okay, so nope, I missed these bars here. And I think the way I'm going to do this is, let's just see, I'm just curious to know if I was to unwrap like that. It's probably fine actually for those. That is the cart right there. So I'm going to select it all and unwrap, and I'm going to select those all and pack them. And the only thing is, let me close that. The underside of this is really not going to be seen. It's taking up a lot of space. So I'm going to shrink that way down and then select everything again and pack. And hopefully I get a little bit more space for the top and for everything else, because you're really not going to see the other stuff very much at all. So that is the cart. It's ready to go. So I'm going to select it, and let's export this into that export corridor. I'm going to call this cart texturing video. Yeah, okay. Selected objects, export. All right, over in Substance Painter, new, OpenGL, select cart texturing video, open. Okay, check it out. Make sure nothing looks invisible. Everything is flipped the right way. And let's go ahead and bake the mesh maps at 2K, unchecking ID and thickness. All right, this is going to be very straightforward. And the thing is, I'm going to be using some smart materials, and in particular for the wood, which might be frustrating for you to not see me build the wood up from scratch. But I built this wood in the past when I did the post-apocalyptic classroom, and I find that it's a good wood for this purpose. I'll link you in the description to where I built the material. And it takes a little while, but once you've got it, save it as a smart material. So for example, if I type in wood, and I come down here, one of these wood worn, try this one. And we may need to do a little bit of work on that, but that's what I used in the post-apocalyptic classroom. And the reason that I think it works not badly, and I may want to change the direction of that, is because it doesn't have really obvious wood grain in it. And so it can be used for a lot of different things. And so what I might do is come back here, and actually let me select everything. And this I might, let's try if I rotate this 90 and then I pack again. No, that's not what I want to do. I want to uncheck rotation enable just so I get that vertically. Let's try that and see what it's like. So I got everything selected. I'm just going to export that again. Come back over here, edit, project configuration, select, make sure I've got the cart texturing video one there. And let's click OK. And we'd have to make the mesh maps again. So let's just quickly do that and see. My textile density is not exactly the same for everything, but I think that's going to be all right. So once again, you know, I'm using a smart material rather than building a wood from scratch or taking one of these and modifying it quite a bit. I'll just do something quick here. And, you know, when you think about it, when you watch, you know, your computer games, while the company is going to make their own materials, they're going to reuse them again and again. So just think of this as part of that old post-apocalyptic classroom. This is just in the hospital hallway in the same game, and I'm reusing the material. All right. And, you know, that's the benefit of having these smart materials, or just materials in general, is that they're either a base that you can modify or you can just reuse them. So what I want to do is I want to come in here, and I know this won't look familiar to you unless you watch that, but this part here, right here, I want to get the paint, and if I just paint over, I can get rid of some of this these dot-like things, and you know, I could do this with you know, with a dirt brush or whatever, but I just think we're okay. I'm not going to see the back anyhow, so just so it's not too much, but that's probably okay. And maybe I will actually go to a dirt brush and turn that back, and see, that brings that back in. Maybe even a little bit less, just to touch up that what I did there. All right, anyhow, that's fine. All right, so there's my wood. All right, And I don't want it on everything. I only want it on some things. So I'm going to add a black mask, kind of my polygon fill and my mesh fill, and just select the things that I want in wood. And I think that is all I want in wood. Is that right? Yeah, okay. Now, I may want to put a dirt layer on there. Yeah, so I'm going to come up to here and add color. I don't even really need roughness, but I tend to do that. Drag it all the way up, bring this up into brown a little bit. It's sort of a dark brown. We'll try the dark brown. Black mask, and we'll try it just with a generator. And just do this, just so there's a little bit of that in there. Now it's gone on to the other stuff as well, but I'm not going to worry about that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have that actually at the top. So the next thing I want to do is some, let's do the wheels, and let's do those in like a rubber kind of, let's just type in rubber and try which one, rubber tire. We could try that. I'll put on a black mask, and with polygon fill, I'll just select one. And it's just going to look like almost a black plastic, and that's all we need for that stuff. I don't need any more than that. Okay, so the next thing is the metal, and I want to have an undercoating of metal and then rust on top of that. And so let's do this. Let's create a folder, and this is going to be for the metal. And I'm going to come to the materials, type in metal, and I'm probably going to use like iron rough or something. So let's just sort of bring that there and have a look at that. And I think that's what I'm going to be using. All right, so let's make sure that's in the folder, and it is. Let's add a black mask and just select the things that I'm going to want to have as the metal. So all of this stuff, this, the base thing there. Yeah, okay, got it. Make sure that. Actually, I'm not sure that got it. Now it did. So that's all metal. Okay. Oh, I guess I don't have the mirror on. So let me come back here. Little mistake here. It should be easy to fix. This one I had turned the mirror off. So I'm going to select it again. Quickly export the FBX. Maybe you saw that for a while and I didn't even notice it. We'll just do this. And that should come back in. Okay. So we've got that, and what I'd like to do is add another material. Let's look into rust. Now, which one do I want to use? This one or this one? I kind of think I might do that one. That didn't come in. Right there. Not sure if that's the one I want to use or not. But anyways, I'm going to add a black mask to this. And I'm going to add a fill, and in the grayscale, I'm going to do probably clouds. Let's try clouds 2. Let's just play with the values until I get what I like. Okay. I think I do like that. And so that's basically the cart. What I can do is the dirt is above, right? So if I just want to make sure I see some here. Yeah, I see some of that dirt. So let me back and bring that up just a little bit. I just think I'm going to just make that a little darker, not too much, just a little bit. And there we have it. That's really all there is to it. Okay, Just yeah. Okay, so that's how I basically would texture the cart very quickly. All right, so I'm not even going to save that because, like I said, I've basically done it, and it's very, very similar to this. So I'll show you that in a bit. So I'm going to come back now here, and I'm going to hide the cart and display the computer stuff. All right, so this is the computer stuff. I've already got it unwrapped. Okay, so you can see a lot of different stuff. This is all computer tower, and this one is all computer monitor. So we've got the two of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, once it's all unwrapped, which it is, I'm going to export that one. As this is cart tech, this is going to be computer texturing video. Export that, and maybe just to be on the safe side, in case I lose something, maybe I will save this as cart texturing video. And of course, I haven't talked about it in this video, but to export, I would export textures. I would come to the output templates, metallic roughness. I would get rid of that. I'd get rid of all this $ mesh underscore stuff, just because it's easier for me to locate those textures. And then make sure OpenGL is in here. And then back on the settings, I would choose that, and then I just choose where I want it. I would leave this as 8-bit PNG, and the material or the texture is called cart. All right, so at any rate, we are going to now start a new file, and this is computer texturing video. Okay, and there is the computer. All right, I'm going to bake the mesh maps, 2048. All right, well, this one's going to be pretty straightforward as well. I'm going to come to the materials, and I'm going to type in plastic, and I'm going to grab this plastic glossy. Let's actually make sure we're on. I'm going to do the tower first. All right, plastic glossy is coming in, and I'm going to, you can notice you can see through, eh? Because I don't have a backside on this, but that hopefully is not going to be a problem, or I'll fix that later. And I'm going to give it a whitish gray kind of color. It's a little bit too shiny though, so let's up the roughness. I want it a little bit shiny. Okay, and I'll probably get rid of that. And let's add a filter on here. And I'll use the filter that I very often use, this one here, this matte finish rough, and that will give some imperfections to it, like that. And there really is not very much we're going to do other than dirt. I'm going to do something with that power button there. So this is plastic glossy. I'm going to actually just duplicate that layer and change the color to something. I'm thinking of, let's just try that for now, but we'll put a black mask on, and polygon fill, we'll choose mesh, and we're just going to choose the power button, and I'm thinking of doing that. All right, with that done, I think I will just do a little color in these sort of lights. I'm not going to have them on or anything, but let's just let's duplicate that again. But let's clear the mask. Select this one and this one, and let's just change that to sort of a dull red color. I don't know, even something like that, just to have, I don't know, a little bit of something. Okay, on the top of this, we're going to add some dirt. Let's see if we can get away with the dirt generator. That's going to throw some dirt in there, and That's good. And just in the crevices, which is what we want, and maybe just a tiny bit on the body itself. You know, you can paint on this if you want. You can do some metal edges, but I think for the scene that I'm going to use, that's going to be just fine. And that's dirt. And so I'm going to use many of those same layers on the computer monitor. I'm going to use this one and the dirt really. Okay, well, let's just grab maybe that one, come to the monitor and paste it. All right, so that's on the monitor now. Let's grab the dirt layer, put that on the monitor, and then we'll just see maybe it's a little bit much on the monitor. And so we'll just do this, put it back a bit. That puts it in there, puts it in there. That's great. And maybe what we'll do is we'll just do the screen. I just did a flat screen. I didn't curve it or anything. And I'm not putting any buttons or any other real detail unless I change my mind later and I want a little bit of alpha work on the side. I really don't think I'm going to. And so I'm just going to take this and duplicate that layer. I'll put a black mask on here. And this is going to go, let's switch to UV chunk, put it there. Now, this screen, I'm going to change its color. And let's see if I can get kind of what I want. I'm thinking, you know, like that kind of. Let's go, actually, I think it's normal. And I'm going to switch this to normal and watch the screen. You see, a lot of that I got rid of some of that anyhow. And of course, what I do see on here is pretty much going to be caused by either this or the dirt. And so that's okay. So I'm going to switch back. And that is the effect that I'm going for these very simple computers. The only thing I will do is on the tower in particular, I'm going to bring that up to 2K. And I don't really need to do any writing or on it. It's going to be far too small to see. And I don't even really need to bring up the resolution on this. All I'll have to do is I'll have to curve this so that's resting on the cart properly. So I will save this. And I'll call this computer texturing video. And again, I would export it the same way. And so I'm going to now show you a sample render with the cart and the computer in, and we can talk a little bit about that. So here is the render I was talking to you about. Here is the cart. Here's the computers. I do have to still tilt that monitor, and I'm going to obviously not have this just like straight across. I'm going to turn it towards us a little bit. I'll adjust the position of these. But the cart and the computers are essentially done now. I've also gone ahead and done a few pieces of paper as a bit of a test on the floor here. I'm not sure if this is the right position or what I want to do, and I threw something up on the wall. So I'll be working on more posters, and left to do still is a cork board, which is going to be over here, a couple of posters, a vent, and then just maybe position lights a little bit differently. I don't really want that on that thing there, but oh, and a blood stain, of course. And you know, I might do a little bit more scuffing up on the floor with other decals or whatever, whether it's more blood stains or dirt stains or whatever. But that's basically how the corridor scene is going to go. All right, so I'll be back in the next video, and we'll just carry on until we get to the end. Thanks for watching. See you next time.